Ready to Work, the podcast with success secrets for the young tech professional. Hello, I am Brit Sethi, and this is the Ready to Work podcast. Have you ever been so angry that you went out of control? Forget colleagues, you almost did not care for the boss either. Do you want to fix this? Then you should explore EQ. EQ stands for emotional quotient, and we will be exploring it in this podcast. Today we have with us Sri Vibhav Balram. Vibhav is a people's person and he puts himself in your shoes. This is his secret to being a very capable and successful manager. Vibhav has worked in very senior roles with multinationals like SAP Labs, Hewlett Packard, and Novell. He then founded a company in the cloud storage space, CloudByte, and went on to raise Series A and B fundings of over $9 million as part of his entrepreneurial journey. Presently, he is the managing director and general manager of India operations for Vocera Communications. Vibhav, welcome to this podcast and thanks for being our guest.
Thanks for having me, Bridge.
Vibhav, to me, you are the walking demonstration of EQ in action. You are aware of your emotional states and you manage them superbly. And then you take it to the next level and you can sense the emotional states of others well before they blow up into an anger storm, and you can manage relationships accordingly. What would you like to share with us today?
So, what I wanted to do today was really talk about how you can differentiate yourself with, higher EQ or emotional quotient, right? As opposed to IQ or intelligence quotient. My entire entrepreneurial journey, where I had to actually raise money for my company, and it was very interesting and very much of a learning activity when I had to go out and pitch for somebody to write a check for me. Every time you talk to a venture capitalist and he kind of trashes your idea, you have to get up and walk again because you are kind of down in the dumps.
Mm-hmm.
And well, we did around 90 pitches, and finally we did land up raising both Series A and Series B later. The real distinguishing factor is the emotional quotient. So I wanted to talk about these things.
Sounds great, Vibhav. The fact that you had to pitch yourself to venture capitalists several times and you never let it hold you back. And if anybody who's going to be looking for jobs thinks they have it difficult, it gets no easier and it only gets harder when you are pitching for actual money from people. Is by the way, is resilience or handling adversity related to EQ in some way?
Absolutely, it is. It is. So basically, the person who should be credited with making EQ very popular is a gentleman by the name of Daniel Goleman, Goleman. So really, Daniel broke it up into four parts, and under these four parts, he defined 12 competencies.
Okay.
So the first part of it was around self-awareness, right?
Right.
And this is more to do with emotional self-awareness. How do you respond to different situations on from an emotional point of view? When do you get angry? When do you feel happy? When do you feel so passionate that you're not able to talk, right? And I'm sure some of you have experienced this, that when you feel very passionate about something, you find it very difficult to express yourself because you're so close to the thing.
Right.
The second part of it is called self management, which is more about adaptability, which is resilience. Bridge, as you said, resilience is a part of adaptability,
Right.
and emotional self control. So, how do you manage to? I mean, you are self aware, right? If you are self aware now, how do you try to control yourself? Emotionally, when you are hit with a situation that you are going to get angry with, for example, or going to be sad about. So, are you going to respond in an effective way? There are also a few other things under self management, like how achievement oriented one is. Again, is it a growth mindset or a passive mindset that one has, right? Fixed mindset, as it is called. Then the third part of emotional intelligence is about social awareness, which includes empathy and organizational awareness. So again, it's very, very important to know how the organization in which you finally enter after your interview process and all that, how that organization functions. And very few of us actually take the time to understand this.
Right.
And the last part, of course, is about very important part about relationship management, how you can influence and how you do conflict management. Obviously, that's very important because there is bound to be conflict. Now, that is about the theory, right? Now, some points about this at a more high level, right? So, one thing is very important point is when you're talking about issues, it's important to separate the individual from the issue, because very often we develop a dislike for an individual because of the opinion they carry. But it's very important to understand that these are two different things, and actually understand the opinion but never disrespect the individual, right? It's very important, and it is very difficult to do because we are all emotional animals, and we can lose our self control very often. Then of course there is this whole thing around how do you assert yourself. And the Dalai Lama put it very well when he said it's about muscular compassion. So what he means is you it's actually a very interesting term. I think what he means is that you need to put your point across forcefully, but at the same time be empathetic and compassionate about to the people whom you're talking to. So talk about your point. So it is really the complement of what I said earlier, right? Talk about the point, don't talk about the individual, right? Express your opinion and oppose the point but not the individual.
Right. So, Vibhav, you do this very well. I have seen you time and again convey your point because not you are stating it emphatically, but because you are listening. Could you share with our audience the magic in listening well?
Yes, there is a phenomenal amount of magic in listening. And I mean, to tell you the truth, I was not a great listener earlier in my career. But as I became self aware, I realized that I had to listen more. And I actually started by saying, okay, for the next 10 minutes, I am not going to say anything. I'm just going to listen and absorb.
Right.
And it's about active listening. It's not so much about just waiting to say something. So you have to completely suspend your thinking and your response when you are listening to someone. Just listen and absorb, right? And then you'll get ample time to actually respond to it later once you have understood. So that is probably the way I developed myself to listen. And now it's kind of become a habit to listen. In fact, I am often accused at home of listening too closely and holding people accountable unnecessarily. So so
Huh.
that's the listening part, and it is actually very pleasurable once you get past the initial need to kind of express your opinion. See, most people have this need to express their opinion because they want to show how smart they are. What they don't realize is that that never really talks about how smart you are, right? It sometimes you'll end up saying stupid things because you're in a hurry to say it, and sometimes you may say something irrelevant. It's always better to say less but say something that is meaningful, and if you don't have anything to say, don't say it, right? So this is one of the very critical aspects of emotional intelligence, and also a very important factor as you take up leadership positions, because what a leader says carries a lot of weight, and it's important that there is no loose talking at that point in time, right?
So, Vibhav, I have seen that when you are young and impressionable, then many times you are very impressed by people who can talk big or who can talk impressively. And on one side is this showmanship and big talk, and on the other side there is humbleness.
Right.
What would you choose and why?
It's also personality dependent, but to me I find it more comfortable to be humble, simply because it lets you, the social awareness part and the relationship part works very well when you are humble, right? I mean, going back to those two issues, right? When you are humble, you kind of observe more of what's going on around you, and that's a very important part of social awareness. Making sure that you are fully aware of what's going on and what the dynamics are. For example, observing people talking, their body language, all this can happen if you are more humble and open. And when you're humble, you're also more open to new ideas, right? So you know you very often, you hear a great idea and you can build on it if you are humble. If you're arrogant, you probably want to dismiss the idea, saying, oh, my idea is better.
Hey, as you were talking about this, I was thinking that maybe humbleness also gives you more stamina because you don't have to waste your energy in posturing, which means that if you fall flat at some time because you have more stamina, maybe it is easier to get up and have that growth mindset a little bit easier if you have humbleness. Do you see any relationship or?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. It gives you a lot more stamina to, and also it gives you emotional strength. And you're exactly what you're saying. It gives you the strength to kind of take setbacks easier. And I think the secret is really everything starts from self awareness. So when you are hit with an adverse situation, the best way to look at it is saying, what is bothering me about this situation? What is it that I'm feeling about this? Right? And then let me list it down and say, okay, so this kind of situation generates this kind of emotion in me. So that self awareness. So once you get more and more comfortable with your emotion, and then you are able to manage your emotions, that is the self management part, because as you become more aware, you tend to manage it. Then your need for strutting around goes away.
Actually, it makes a lot of sense, and you just have to accept yourself. And sometimes we feel that we have to compensate by being aggressive because we feel something is lacking. If we accept whatever it is, good or bad, then we don't have to compensate so hard, maybe. When we are not busy compensating or trying to be something that we are not, then automatically our energies are directed to being more in the present moment and being aware of what the others are thinking and feeling.
Yep, yep. And it is important to build, see, self awareness is important in many other ways also, because it is important to build on the things that one is good at, right? Someone might be very good at, uh, design, object oriented design, may not be the greatest presenter or, selling person. Now it's much better to kind of be the quiet designer rather than try to become one of those go-getting salespeople, right? Because that personality is different. So again, me being who I am, I started to get more and more comfortable with the fact that I am, by nature an introvert, and like being quiet, and talk only when there is a need to talk. And you just have to get comfortable with it and not be bothered. The most difficult part is ensure that other people kind of strutting around should not bother you, right? Because if they are getting the press coverage, they are getting, they are putting up like 20 different posts on LinkedIn. Are you going to feel like, oh God, this guy is putting up 20? I should be doing at least one, right? And you land up putting something absolutely ridiculous, right? But if you have something really important to say, great, put it up, right? But not related to someone else.
Right. So, the key to self awareness and after that self control is being aware of yourself. It is as simple as that. Sometimes you need to give yourself time to become self aware in the heat of the moment. Try this simple experiment next time you are in an emotional storm. Simply count up to 10 without reacting on the outside. See what happens. EQ is magical and the results will help you go forward in working smoothly with others. So thank you very much, Vibhav. It has been wonderful speaking to you and hearing you share your insights.
Thank you so much. And I enjoyed this as much as you did, in fact, more, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to do this.
So that was Vibhav in conversation with us about emotional quotient. If you like this podcast, do subscribe to our weekly episodes. Please also visit www.readytowork.in for more insights on career readiness. I'm your host, Brij Sethi, and this is the Ready to Work podcast, the podcast with success secrets for the young tech professional.